All right, welcome back everybody to another video. Today's video, this is post our $2,700 in 24 hours video. It's actually a day after that. We did another $1,000 in 24 hours. Tis the season. We're toy resellers. If you're new here, we would appreciate any likes and subscribes. It really does, and any comments helps the channel grow. If you like this type of content of what's sold and for how much, and perspective on reselling, feel free to follow. Again, $1,000, $302 of that $1,000 is courtesy of Nifty AI. Description in link in the description. If you'd like to try Nifty, first 30 days they give you a $15 credit. If you'd like to try an automated service for cross listing, it's grown our business exponentially. I think within 2 years we've grown this business to be a $250,000 plush and toy. I'll call it an empire for lack of a better word. There's other business models besides the one we do. So I always recommend everybody do your research, look at sellers and what you're interested in, be passionate about what you're reselling, and you'll be successful regardless of what that is. On to the video. We're looking for Chick-fil-A plush. Usually this time of year, people use those as stocking stuffers along with a gift card. So that one sold for $28 in 3 months on eBay, and we'll be back show you what that looks like. Okay, we're back with that Chick-fil-A cow bundle. There's 3 Chick-fil-A cow plush in here. And again, this one sold for $28 in 3 months. We usually start really pushing hard on listing these around September. We collect them throughout the year, just so that we're ready for this time of year, because we sell these all the time. You bundle them up, give great value at a great price, they're going to sell all the time. Just so be on the lookout for those as you're going along in your journey. You see them for a couple pennies, pick them up, and you'll get a good ROI. On to the next one. We're looking for a Pokemon Psyduck. This one's a really nice one. I can't wait to look at this one with you guys. It sold for $40.50 by offer on Depop. We started listing on Depop earlier this year, and we're doing pretty well on that side. So we'll go ahead and get that one up next. Okay, here's that Psyduck. It's actually right here in 12. We don't normally put our eBay store in our YouTube description video. We're not looking to gain support or sales in that nature. But if you did want to support our channel and you wanted to purchase from us, you can do that. It's the same name. The Rocket City Toy Store is what it's called on. If you did a Google search, it would pop up. So if you want to support us and watch our journey grow, we'll appreciate that as well. Emotional support nuggets are available in that store. How great is that? All right, here's that Psyduck I wanted to talk about. This Psyduck is a Japanese exclusive, and this was from a vending machine, according to the tag. So this is something that was exclusive to that particular area. You can't get this in the States that I've seen. I've done some research on this. Just not a thing. So this came back. We are a military town here in Huntsville. So likely someone was there stationed and potentially came back with this, is my guess, unless they ordered it special order and had it shipped. That is a possibility. But anyways, $40.50, 3+ months. Sold on Depop, sold by offer of Nifty. And we're going to move on to the next one. We're actually going to skip the next one. It's an interesting story. So Fisher Price Loving Family. We did a video. Actually, sorry. We'll get back to that in a minute. Rewind. Getting ahead of myself. Fisher Price I Love You Barney plush is what we're looking for. Sold for $14 on Poshmark in 6 months. We'll get back to that. Okay, so I'm back. I got ahead of myself earlier because Fisher Price Loving Family, we've been picking up since we started reselling in 2022. And we just recently started getting around the idea of not bundling it together. Well, anyways, that just happened. So we decided to not bundle it together and break it apart. And wow, good thing you're going to your new home, Barney, because yeah. So if you're living that Barney life, you know. Anyways, so Fisher Price Loving Family, we decided to just let it go. And I did it again. But this one was on purpose. Gotcha again. On to the next. Did I say $14 in 6 months, Barney? I probably did, but I wanted to come back and make sure. Yeah, so there's a lot that's been going on for the past week, 2 weeks. We did probably 30,000 in sales this month, so it's been crazy busy and kind of all over the map. So I apologize in advance if it's kind of mishmashed, pretty tired. But with that tired comes a lot of success, and if you want to be successful, that's a part of reselling. I think I've mentioned earlier, if you're new to this channel, I always just cover the good and the bad of reselling, so that way you get a better feel. We don't sugarcoat things here at the Rocket City Reseller. We just make sure that you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. And if you're going to become a toy seller, fourth quarter, it's a lot. It's a lot, y'all. You need to really lock in and get it done. But we're going to get it done, and we're going to get on to our next one. Peppa Pig, Yellow Teddy Bear, and Dinosaur Bundle. $23 on eBay in 6 months. And we'll be back with that. Okay, so as we're looking for this Peppa Pig, and it was in bin 34, I want to give you a quick update on Little Bear. If you recall, we had to cancel Little Bear that sold because couldn't find them, right? Part of the reselling gig, we already went over that. But I did find it, right? And reached out to the buyer that I had to cancel, unfortunately. Let them know that we found it. And they actually purchased it again for the full asking price, not the sale price. So happy accident. I did honor the sale price, by the way. Now that I'm calling back, so rewind that as well. So this guy sold for $23.09 in 6 months on eBay. On to the next. Okay, so our next one is Spyro. Potato, right? This one did not have a tag, but the buyer did not mind. And the Skylander plush sold for $13.94. Sold on Depop. So this one's been listed for quite some time. So yeah, didn't really comp for very much, unfortunately, but it is a neat plush. So I would definitely pick it up again. And yeah, on to the next. Okay, so Pushimo ice cream was in the same bin, luckily. So that was easy. Pushimo ice cream, it's a 10-inch plush, sold for $17.79 in 6+ months on eBay. We saw a lot of Pusheen by Gund. This little cat always has some sort of food. So definitely can get around that. This sold, took a little while. They don't move fast, but I would definitely pick it up again. On to the next. Okay, so this next one is Disney Baby Bright Stars Tigger Teether musical. Batteries are out of it, so it's not going to work for us right now, but it is a vintage Disney Baby store. Would I pick it up again? Maybe not. Starting to rethink some of the main characters, even though he's a sidekick, and certain sidekicks, because they don't move very fast. So, like for instance, you would think some of this vintage Disney would sell, but the market's saturated for Disney. So we actually had better luck with some Pusheens and things of that nature selling in Psyduck. Some of the more popular items. Disney has an oversaturated population. So in some of the stuff like this would be $25, $30 at the park, right? Because it's Disney parks. And then we sell it for maybe $10 to $12. So even with that being said, we still can't really move it as fast as we would like. So rethinking a lot of things for the coming year, but onward to the next one. Okay, this is the next one, sold in 3+ months. Disney Muppet Babies, Miss Piggy, Kermit, and Gonzo. We got these from different places, and then what we do is we take time to bundle them together to give value. We don't charge any less than we would charge them singly, I guess. But again, I've said it before in other videos, they find value in volume. So just consider that when you're sourcing and listing stuff, even if you're not selling toys. If you can bundle similar items together and give more perceived value, you can ask more for stuff. It's behavioral science. It's not really reselling science. Maybe there's a little bit of reselling science there, but Nifty was an offer for $37. And would I pick it up again? Absolutely. This is the stuff I grew up on. Anything Muppets, really. So definitely near and dear to my heart. So yes, 10 out of 10. On to the next. All right, this little dude was an absolute bear to find in this tote. So many little things. To find this is a TY Addict Treasures Ivy the Bunny, sold for $23.20 on eBay in about 6+ months. We don't often pick up a lot of this type of thing, and likely was been listed for quite a while when we first started, likely. But corduroy outfit, bunny, TY Addict Treasures. Checked a lot of boxes for someone, and they picked it up. Spent $23.20 on it. Onward to the next one. Okay, we are back, and let's get our trusty sheet so we know what we're talking about here. This Mary Meyer Moose, new tag, looks like it was $29.95 at the store. That's not what our buyer paid. We listed this for $20, and they bought it in 6 months on eBay. So fair deal, I think. Would I pick it up again? No. We're going to be moving away from this type of thing, unfortunately. There's plenty of other sellers out there that are going to sell it. So if you're interested in getting some reduced priced items for your reselling business and you're looking to get in the game, check us out on Whatnot. Whatnot's an online auction platform where you can buy and sell items that are collectible, mostly collectibles, and non-collectibles. But like housewares, you can pretty much find anything on Whatnot, food, you name it. So yeah, we'll go ahead and put a link here. You get $15 off your first purchase if you use it as a buyer. If you're a reseller and you want to start selling on Whatnot, if you use the seller link in our bio, you can actually, they'll match you $150 from your first $150 sale. So something to consider, and you get automatic approval through our link, or it's a faster approval process. Let me just put that as a caveat, but something to think about as you progress through your reselling journey. And we are done here in the shed. I am absolutely freezing, so thank God for that. It is cold. Actually snowed here in, you can't tell, snowed here in North Alabama tonight. It is December 2nd. $1,000 in sales in 24 hours. Let's go into the garage. Okay, we are back in the garage. Lighting is terrible since we reorganized this. Our last video, well, these are out of, maybe, I guess they're in order, but you're seeing this delayed. We did a lot of work in here, and that video has already been up for the reorg. A lot of the detrashing and reorganization and stuff like that. If you like that type of video, it is here in the channel, so you can go back through. A day in the life of a reseller is what the playlist is called. If you'd like to watch that video, it's fast forwarded, so you don't have to, go on. It's 10-minute video, so feel free to watch that. Let's go ahead and get on to the next one. This one is going to be, we're going to skip a bunch of these because they are in another room in the house. These are not in sequence. We're going to start at Chick-fil-A cows again. $20.47. Like I mentioned earlier, we did pull some more that sold. These sold for $20.47 on eBay in 4 months. And yeah, this one was a nifty offer. So we'll go ahead and get that and come right back. Okay, so we are back with no Chick-fil-A cows. And this is an important reminder to make sure you're doing your inventory. Not exactly sure if they were misplaced in a separate tote. That can sometimes happen. We are human, we make errors. Or it's sold and wasn't delisted properly. Now, we switched from Vendu to Nifty in May because Vendu, for us, there are going to be some folks that use it and love it, and that's great. But for us, there was a lot of communication issues between the different platforms. I'm not sure how that works. I am a software engineer by degree, so I have a good idea of how that works in the back end, but it's not the point of this video. My point is that we're starting to see some of the cracks in that process, whether what that was Vendu being the issue or the transfer when we transferred from Vendu to Nifty. So just know if you switch cross-listing platforms, you have to be very meticulous with that process, and also be very aware of your inventory. So as soon as you make that switch, absolutely do an inventory right away during that time as well. It is a lot to do. And Vendu had burned us enough times for us to be frustrated to the point where we said, hey, enough is enough, and we did it. So it was painful. We got through it, but we're still seeing little like bites on the ankle as we progress. We'll see if we can find it or at least make it whole, because we do have more Chick-fil-A cows. So we might be able to piece something together. But anyways, the point of that was just to kind of remind you guys, again, the good, the bad, the indifferent of reselling. You need to know what you're up against when you cross list. So we'll go ahead and get on to the next one. Appreciate you listening to my TED Talk. And looks like we have Hooters Owl, and I got a good story about this one. Sold on Etsy for $25. So I'll be right back. Oh, for a second there, we were 0 for 2. Here's that little Hooters Owl. And, the story begins at Hooters in Alabama closed down. I'm not sure if nationally they went out of business or just here locally, but anyways. So this little Hooters dude is like a promotional type of owl. The buyer, this actually sold on Etsy. The buyer just was like all over us about this thing. When can it be shipped out? They pay for Priority Express. Can it be there by Friday? Today is Wednesday. Actually, yeah, today is Tuesday, rather. It'll go out tomorrow morning. Likely get there by Friday, Priority Express. But it is the holiday season, and I tried to make them understand that. And they were just not understanding how the postal service works. And I'm not exactly sure they look like they were an adult person. So it's hard to imagine exactly their thought process there. But customer service is super important, which is the main point of the story. So just try to be the best you can. It's hard in fourth quarter to give that good customer service, but do your due diligence regarding that. Super annoying person, super frustrated. I'm sure with us, the process. But do the best you can. This little dude sold for, let's see if we got him. I think we just already covered it, but I believe it was $25 on Etsy, and it took a little bit to sell. So on to the next. All right, we are back, and so this pig, it's a vintage pig, sold on Etsy, I believe. Let's double check. Sold 180. There he is. Dakin Pig sold for $32 by offer on Nifty. Sold in about 4 months and sold on eBay, actually. Not bad. There's another one in here. It's a turtle. And the turtle sold for $16 on Poshmark and took about 4 months. So let's see if we can find that turtle in real time here. It's always fun trying to dig through these totes and not lose your marbles along the way. The life of a flushy reseller. As soon as I turn off this camera, I'll likely find it. But it was a turtle that sold, and I'll either be back with that turtle or have a story about how it's lost. All right, be right back. Okay, we're back, and I went back to Posh just to double check because it sounded familiar, the turtle, and it looks like I pulled it as part of the $2,700 in 24 hours. So not exactly sure time-wise how that happened, but so that is a thing. So that already went out, the turtle, and it's already tracking. So onward to its new home and on to the next. This one is a Gun Snuffles that sold in, let's see, I just had it. Sold for $23.39 on eBay. Took about 4 months to sell. This one was an offer by Nifty. Surprised this didn't sell for more, actually, because the rose gold ones usually do go for a little bit higher, but likely has been being reduced over the course of time because that's what Nifty's job is, just to move it out. So not mad because we probably paid 75 cents to $1 for this dude. So I'm okay with that sale. Still good return on profit. And on to the next. Okay, vintage 2003 Tilux Ploofies. Pokey the Leopard plush sold for $25 on Etsy in 6 months. So if you know this here, we have these vintage 90s loving family houses, and someone's probably in their fields right now. They're for sale. So shipping is a concern. So if you want to reach out about those and you're into that loving family life, feel free to send a message. But I just had one of these totes bouncing on that, and if you guys would have saw that in real time, you'd be like, "Oh no, don't do that." But when in Rome, you have to use what you got to use to bounce. I'd love to put these somewhere else so that they can live a better life, but I'm not having the time to do so right now. So more to come on that. We're still deciding whether to put those in our booth or part them out. So we'll make that decision here in a few weeks after fourth quarter is over. Again, this one sold for $25 on Etsy. On to the next. Okay, these next two are in the same bin, luckily, and I just listed these, sold within days, 12 and 13 days to be exact. Both sold, one sold on eBay and one sold on Etsy. So the eBay is this Baby Genius elephant that sold for $19.99 and sold in 13 days on eBay. So right by right time, likely. And then this one's been on fire lately. So I'm not really familiar with this guy. I'm going to try to pronounce it the best I can. Pocoyo. Let's go Pocoyo. No idea. He looked like kawaii to me. He looked like maybe anime, so I picked him up. But we've been burning through these guys. This is like the fourth and fifth one we sold within days of each other. So you probably could tell that during the prior videos that we've been kind of moving through those rather quickly. This one sold for $44.99 on Etsy. So if you see them in the wild, pick them up. On to the next. Okay, before we move on, just wanted to show you guys a bolo that I picked up. There's a video out there, maybe that I did, I think, of me picking this, or soon will be made. It's a Thrift with me video. I'm not sure if I actually did it yet. I actually got this on camera when I picked it. It's a new old stock, big comfy couch. And yeah, I've been having a run of luck lately, so I'm pretty lucky in that regard of finding this type of vintage. And be able to find vintage new old stock is like unheard of. So I just kind of wanted to highlight that before we moved on to the next. Okay, so here is our next pull. This was a Jim Henson Bear in the Big Blue House. Again, new old stock with tag. As mentioned earlier, been on the tear of finding this type of thing. This one sold for $76.19 by offer on eBay and was listed for about 4 months. And what can I say? We actually do have a bigger size one with a tutter that my wife picked up off of Facebook Marketplace. That's going for about, I think, 150 for both, or 200, somewhere in there. So if you're a bear in the Big Blue House person, always be on the lookout for this. This one was a Nanco. So not the best brand in my opinion, but it is old and it is new old stock. So he's on to his new home. And if you made it this far in the video and you haven't liked and subscribed, if you could just do that, we would appreciate the follow and the viewership. And so grateful for you watching the video. On to the next. Okay, so the Piggy Roblox plush that I was looking for, I don't know if I mentioned it before we said on to the next one, but wasn't in this tote. Turns out I had already shipped it. So getting ahead of myself. So I think my wife has been doing a little bit during the day to try to help out, and it was just a clerical error on our part. Still counts as $1,000 in the 24-hour period, but I just wanted to clarify why we didn't show that on camera. But I'll try to put a post here to that listing that sold, so that way you can get a good look at what that PE Roblox plush look like. And on to the next. Next one was a Gokijin Ferret Kawaii Japanese collectible. I actually found this at the bins, sold within 10 days of me listing it, and sold for, let's see, he sold for $36.45 on eBay. Whenever I see that weird and obscure, and I would count this guy as that, I didn't even know what he was at first, and then had a moment of recollection that he was a ferret. So I was just like, I gotta get him. So great. Probably paid about $2 to $3 for him, and not bad profit on this guy. He sold for $36.45 in 10 days. On to the next. So this one's kind of funny. I was looking for this super soft manatee sea life marine ocean plush, keywords, right? Someone found that keyword and thought they were excited and purchased it. $15.75 on Depop. Sold within 6+ months for 15 again. $15.75. I thought it was bigger. Yeah, I was looking for this. I looked at the picture on my phone and I was just like on Depop. It's like, surely it's a bigger plush, right? There's a lot of big plush in here. I had trouble finding it because he's so small. Anyways, he sold and he's off to his new home. Boop your nose or nail it. On to the next. TY Ploofy Dangles. And I think since we started doing these videos, this is the fourth or fifth dangles that has sold. We always pick these guys up. $37, 6 months on Etsy. On to the next. See you later, Dangles. You're off to your new home. Okay, up next is a vintage Gans Playtime Chimpanzee Monkey. It's a puppet. This particular puppet sold for $39.99 on Etsy. It took about 6+ months, so he's probably been listed since we started, quite honestly, because I don't pick up puppets much anymore. They do sell, and they do sell well. They just take time. So certain brands sell better than others. Folk Menace being the like industry standard for like really great puppet sales. Some of those prices could get really up there. Obviously, anything Jim Henson, if you can get original puppets, harder to do, right? But it is possible. I have a friend that has done it. So that type of style puppet can do well as well. So handmade stuff, depending on the quality, a lot of that is done. Pieces of puppets can sell, believe it or not. Apex Jeff is a reseller friend who has sold pieces to puppets and has made quite a good turn on profit. The other item that's sold here is vintage 2000 TY Beanie Buddy Swoops Pterodactyl, sold for $25 on Etsy as well, and took about 6+ months to sell. So those are just two examples of what you can sell on Etsy. We're going to go ahead and move on to another item here in just a second, but I just wanted to point out a few things about puppets that might help you make your decision-making process while you're sourcing. On to the next. Disney Junior Tots, Pip and Freddy, 20-inch talks and flaps. So this one's on electronic. I have a love-hate relationship with electronic plush. There's a lot of scammers out there that'll say that theirs didn't work when they got it, and basically what they're doing is they're trading theirs for yours. So whenever I take pictures, we take pictures of the compartment with the battery to show that it's clean. We also try to do a video of the recording of it working. Those are two things you can do. The third thing you can do is get one of those black light pens on the inside of the item. You can kind of mark in the case. That way when they return the item, you can confirm the item is yours. 3 things that you can do to try to prevent scammers. $13.20 on eBay in 6+ months. Would I pick it up again? Depends. If I got it at weight, maybe. Otherwise, likely no. On to the next. All right, we took a little bit of a break to charge the Meta Ray-Ban glasses. I'm really enjoying these glasses. I'm not sure for content if they're the best choice. Some people use a GoPro for a wider angle. Unfortunately, Meta Ray-Bans are only, I think 9:6 or whatever the aspect ratio is. But if you're enjoying the content and the visuals, let me know if there's ways we can improve that. I will do my best. I know it's sometimes I'm all over the place with my ADHD, but I do the best I can with what I have. So there's a Hess plush that's up here that we need to pull. It's in this corner. And yeah, we're back to our old ways again. But we'll get some of this moved out and we'll get that Hess plush out. And this one, I want to say it sold for $26.99 by Nifty Offer. Sold in 3+ months and sold on Macari. So Nifty's helping us move more stuff on Macari. It's unfortunate what has happened to that platform. I got more to say on that when we come back. Okay, here we go again with the mismatches in our system. So I can't tell if it's been sold already elsewhere or if it's been an error on our part. But the Hess boat, and I remember picking this. We got it from a local thrift store here in town. And I'll go ahead and put the link here so you can see what that sold like. Where is it? Question mark. to be continued, I guess. But anyways, back to my Mercari story. Mercari, when it first started, we were popping off on there. I want to say within October, we started October 2022 to December. We did $20,000 in 3 months on Mercari in that year. We just started reselling, and we were just like, "What is going on?" Right? Fast forward to today, I think we've done 200, maybe more than that now with the fourth quarter. But at the time, my last look at third quarter, from first to third, we had done like $2,500. What's happened along the way? Yeah, they got greedy, right? They changed their business model. They changed their shipping. They decided to take more from the sellers and buyers regarding shipping when they didn't need to. They did a lot of different practices and procedures. Sellers were no longer getting charged fees. Buyers were getting charged fees. They screwed with too many things at once, all for the greater sake of their profit sharing, I would assume. And by doing that, they kind of shot themselves in the foot, created a mess. So they've been trying this year to recoup some of that. And we're starting to see a little bit of a shift in that by working it through Nifty, setting offers, having that auto share, delist, relist, and just working that store front. But it's done. It's a slow decline on that platform. Will I stop? No. More eyes on your product is always necessary until they are dead in the water. So that's my Mercari story. And it's kind of sad that that's happened, but here we are. And hopefully we'll find this Plush. On to the next. Okay, so I went back through looking for the Hess Plush just to reconfirm that it did sell on Mercari, and it did. It didn't sell anywhere else. I looked through our old system, Vendu. This will be the last month that I carry that just for that purpose, so that we can look through past purchases to see if it sold elsewhere at another time. Didn't sell there. So now the detective work starts. So what I'll likely do is in Nifty, you can actually go to this little exclamation point here. If you can see that on my phone. And you can see that the import date was the 7th. It was modified on the 10th. So we created the listing on the 7th. It was modified on the 10th. So more than likely listed and then located. So we listed it, right? Then we located it on the 10th. So I'll go back through this history here through the 10th. And how I'll do that is I'll take this out and I'll go through our actual inventory. We'll switch this back to imported created. And we have about 8,000 listings, by the way. So we'll go through, and what I'll do is there's an option to switch the pages here. And I'll find the listings from September around that same time period. We categorize everything by character, baby, Disney, or animal. Find like similar items in that time block to see if it was put in the wrong bin. Hopefully that makes sense. So even though we've made a human error, there are ways logically to try to figure that out. I'm a software engineer by design. Or by degree. Maybe by design. Who knows what God's purpose for me is in that regard. I think I'm doing it. God's purpose. And if I've helped one person in this YouTube video, maybe that's the point. But anyways, so that there's ways of figuring that kind of thing out logically. And so that's what I'll do. And I'll report back as soon as I have the answer for that. Might not be in this video. Maybe it'll be in the next one. But that's what I'll do behind the scenes. And we'll go ahead and move on to the next one. Okay, we're going to move into the house for this next one. It should be Shazam, DC Comics Plush, sold on Depop. Another Depop sale. We had like 4 or 5 on Depop, I think, within this last 24-hour period. Again, that number was $1,000.15 in 24 hours, $302.22 by Nifty AI. And we found 2 errors so far in our process. So if I can't find those sales, that'll affect our overall sales number. But we have since filming this video, have been selling other things. So likely this number is actually greater than 1,000 at this point. I want to say we sold like 5 or 6 more things since we started this. So it's popping off, fourth quarter. Here we are, and we're moving into the house. Okay, so here we are in our sunroom. The dogs have claimed the chair. I knew it was going to happen. So we put a blanket down for them. But my point of bringing you in here is we're going to be looking at $329, and we're going to be looking for a Chibi Shazam. And I see it right there, actually. And let's see if I can get it in real time with you guys. I'm going to do the old lift and grab. Or try to. Chibi. All right. We didn't break anything. So this guy here, it's a pretty nice plushie. DC Toy Factory Shazam. And again, for the record, he sold for $14.99 in 15 days on Depop. And he's off to his new home. On to the next one. Okay, we're actually back out in the garage. Because of the sorting of this spreadsheet when I printed this, 301 and 303 are the bins we need to look through. This particular item was quantified, and we never took out that. So I'm not sure which bin it's in, but I'm going to look at 301 and 303. 301's here, 303's up there, and see if we can find the Peanut Shell Knit Woodland Whimsy Fawn plush that sold for $16.49 in 6 months on eBay. And I will be right back with that plushie. Fingers crossed. Right? So, a good news story. We found that fawn that sold $16.49 on eBay in 6 months. Makes sense that this one wouldn't have had it. The one that sold previously with low-hanging fruit being the easiest to get to, we would have looked through this one first and grabbed it here instead of going to 303. So it was in 303, which makes sense. So we'll go ahead and get on to the next plush. The next three, actually, I'll go ahead and pin those here. We'll take a moment. There were Loving Family Fisher Price. We kind of have to sort through those people to find the exact, but I'll go ahead and put the solds here so that you can see the families that sold for $29.99, a set of 3 figures. So we made about $60 off of 6 figures, which is a great return on investment because we don't have much in it. Most of it was gathered over a course of time throughout the bins. So a lot of profit there. And again, they're in staging because they sold within 3 days of listing. And I just listed one tonight. Interesting. You'll see it on the next video likely. But or at the end of this one, maybe I'll post it here because it still falls within this 24 hours. So basically, I've listed it, sold within hours of listing it. And I listed it for $25 one figure. It's a dad. He's in really great shape from 1993. So Loving Family can sell. So when you're out and about, if you're at the bins, you see dollhouse stuff, might be worth just taking a look. Even if you're not a dollhouse and you're an everything seller, take a look at that dollhouse stuff and just kind of make sure you're comping and looking at solds. And it might make a difference in your reselling business. So we're going to be going through all that for the next couple of months, and you'll be seeing more and more of that as solds. All right, on to the next. We set up our Christmas tree for the podcast, and this is our private collection of plushies. If you're new here, you haven't seen this quite yet. This is needing to be organized, but this is kind of general gist of things. We got some Lisa Frank over here, some Land Before Time, some Wuzzles. This is my wife's collection. A lot of this I've bought for her over time. Some of it is our gifts. This Bear in the Blue House. Bear in the Big Blue House was a gift from a friend. Most of this I purchased for her as gifts again. Care Bears. This was a birthday present. I bought all these Care Bears for her. Some of this stuff she's picked up over time. Got a couple of Jellycat pigs over here that we grabbed for her. Her most favorite and treasured possession is Bridget from Trolls, which is really hard to find those plush. They are only sold in the UK. She has some friends, bums down there, which were hard to find during the time that they came out. She's a super fan of Nintendo. I think it's Super Mario 3 is her favorite. We got a Whatnot plushie. Hard to come by. They were given out to certain resellers. She's a huge Figment fan. If you know Amanda, she loves Figment. Crayola collection, which I'm not really tied to. I don't think she is either. But likely that will get resold at some point. I love Looney Tunes, and I collect some of that stuff at Hanna-Barbera. So that's my stuff there. And then, yeah, some of this stuff is just random placed in there. I love Lion King, specifically Timon and Pumbaa. I call Amanda Turbo. So this is one of my plush that I got for her. There's a story there. Maybe we'll talk about it in the podcast. I think we might have already have talked about it in the podcast. So if you're not watching the podcast, we'd appreciate any viewership there. So that's just in a nutshell. And this is, behind the scenes footage. So the reason why we brought you in here was this Raymond plush sold. It's a vintage Eden Raymond the Snowman. Very popular, especially this time of year. This Raymond plush sold for quite a bit of money. And let's see if I can find out what here. He sold for $64.99 in one day. So I literally just listed him yesterday evening, and he sold instantly within probably hours of listing. So just goes to show you. So whenever you're back, sorry about that, long-winded. So whenever you're in the season, is basically what I was going to say. Is you can continue to list the stuff that are seasonal. It's okay because likely it's going to go to the top of the algorithm and be seen by the most eyes. So it's not necessarily too late until you reach your last shipping date, which I believe is December 17th this year, for Ground Advantage, and the 17th for Priority. So yeah. So that's it for sales for today. We're going to stop here the video. There's more to pull because we skipped a bunch. We skipped 125 through 166. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. And I'll go ahead and post them here at the end of the video. One was a TY Jingle Beanies collection, Mr. Frost, sold for $18.27 on eBay in 4+ months. The next was a Gun Sesame Street Abby Dabby plush, sold for $17.99 in 2+ months on eBay. 2014 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade SpongeBob SquarePants, sold in 6+ months for $15.67 by Nifty Offer via eBay. TY Beanie Balls Barbie the Gnome, sold for $10.40 in 6 months on eBay. Unipack Safari Animal Pack of 3, sold for $8.15 by Nifty Offer. Ian sold on eBay. Symbols Texas Beanbag Plush, basically it's a souvenir plush, sold for $13.20 on eBay in 6+ months. So I just want to take a moment to remind you, if you can't be good at it. We'll catch you on the next video. $1,000 in 24 hours plus. So thank you for watching. We'll catch you on the next video.